Asato ma Satgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritangamaya Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
I'm Leela, and
I'm Siddhartha. We live between Singapore and Coimbatore, and since the last 2 years, we've been coming to the Haidakhan Vishwa Mahadham here in the Himalayas. And this is our first opportunity to attend the Navratri together, and it's been an incredible opportunity to meet so many old devotees of Haidakhan Baba, hear their stories, and just feel their embrace and love. It's been something quite touching.
it's definitely a blessing to be here during Navratris. We have been here before as well, but what makes this place very special during this time is all the devotees. They're pouring their heart into bhajan, kirtan, havan, chanting, karma yoga, and that's what brings the grace. And especially when I'm attending the Arti this time during the Navratris, it's a natural process of meditation. Truly graced.
Yeah.
And
I've heard that, the easiest way to see God is in the hearts of his devotees, and when a guru is not in the body, the ashram is the living embodiment of the guru. And being here has been really, it's been a living experience for us. This ashram in Haidakhan is unlike any other we've seen. So we actively do go out and seek spiritual places. We find solace in it. But I must say there's no ashram I've been to like this. Just the backdrop of it, but more importantly, the very living presence of Babaji, which is unexplainable but also unmissable.
And what I find is the energy over here is very raw. And whatever sadhana you are initiated into, be it Devi, Shiva, or any japa mantra or meditation, you do here in this space, and it really deepens you. It takes you to who you are. I think both of us are seeker for that who we are very far away from that, and we are seeking. And this place has been really supportive for that purpose. And it brings us back to this energy field.
And one other very striking thing about this place is it just feels so heart-oriented and so simple. Satya, Saralta, Prem, it's really visible.
Yeah, it's radiating from everyone, especially the old devotees who have been there with Babaji, and even the ones who haven't met Babaji. Still, just this place has molded them in a way that it's just their essence, that simplicity is radiating from everyone. Be it the person who is in the kitchen, who is cooking the food, who is serving, and who is doing the puja. It's rare to find, in this world, a place who is still so simple and so inclusive. We are pretty new in this ashram, but we feel so inclusive and so much loved. And I feel that's Baba, and
Yeah.
That's how probably if Baba was there and we were there, that's how Baba would include us.
One thing I'm glad about is the first time we came here, we had gone to Dunagiri, and someone mentioned this ashram, and we didn't ask too many questions. Just looking at the way they were describing this ashram, we just came down for a day or two. And I'm glad we didn't ask too many questions, because I think Haidakhan Baba and this ashram and this Samaj, more than what can be articulated, it's something to be felt. And when you're here, you feel it as a living presence. And even now, I do not know all of the history or all of the stories, but it's not felt that important. What's felt important is that there is
Exactly.
something very real here. The dhuni, to sit there, it somewhere feels like it's not of this earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, so I have been doing some Devi sadhana, which I have been initiated by different guru and ashram. We are deeply connected to that as well. And when I do that sadhana, when I do that stuti at the dhuni, I feel the goddess is just there. So the dhuni has been kept in a very raw way, so you can just what do I say?
So whenever we go back from here, Leela will look at me and say, I miss that heart-centeredness of this ashram. I can't find it elsewhere. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's the approach of this whole Haidakhan Samaj. Um,
Another thing is the Arati itself. I think that's how we first probably felt that connection deepen. We came here for just a day or two and then we left. But we had heard the Arati, and somehow we kept doing the Arati every day.
So we left to USA, and in USA, Siddhartha would sit for Haidakhan Arati every day. So that was the time when my parents were also traveling to my brother's place in California, and suddenly Siddhartha will sit, and I was shocked to myself because that was the first time we visited Haidakhan, and it was for just like 1 or 2 days. And something that touched him so deeply that he learned the whole Arati in just couple of days, and we decided to do the Arati for the whole 6 months we were there. So we had done a road trip from California to different places and cross the borders, and Siddhartha will drive and we will play Haidakhan Arati, and it would be such a blissful experience. Even the 6 to 8 hours of drive would feel like nothing. There would be energies, just we will charge ourselves with the Arati.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we landed in Creston. And
Yeah. I mean, it was so wonderful to see out in the Arizona, wilderness. There's an ashram of Bhole Baba there, and it's maintained with so much love and integrity. I mean, we saw Haidakhandeshwari Ma there. Her murti there is the biggest I've seen so far, and she's maintained so beautifully with so much love. Ramloti ji and the rest of them there at the Crestone Ashram, you know, are
yeah, the way she is the embodiment of Ma, like Ramloti, the way she embraced us on the day one we entered the ashram, and she was the first one we met, and that was a day of Havan, like some ancestral Havan was
that
happening.
was a Navratri as well.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
forgot that.
last year.
Yeah, so, and then the way she included us, she made us the Yajman of the Havan, and that was the first time we are entering the ashram. So, I was just in tears. Like, I just felt that this is the essence of Guru. I mean, how he is making channels who are like really radiating his essence. So, I think that's what brings us here.
Yeah.
Every time, we come here, it's the essence that we feel of Bhole Baba. and the intensity. When you're here, it's not always you're in a high, but you're in a high, probably some intensities definitely giving you that high, but not always like good or bad. So this is the place, I think, to go beyond good or bad. And that's when I think something opens up. There would be pain which could intensify. There would be pleasure which could intensify. Um, and if you are really up for some um, adventure, which is to find within and go within, so definitely this is the place.
And one thing I heard this time, the chairman, Dr. Lal, emphasize repeatedly is that Baba never wanted anyone to change their religion or their guru or their God. He emphasized on, going deeper within whatever practice you're doing. And I mean, that's so beautiful. And Leela describes that this place is raw energy. And whatever, we're doing, we come here and it intensifies, it deepens. So, yeah, it's been...
Honestly, for me, it's hard to speak about it. I mean, we are just sitting and in front of a camera, and it's hard to describe the essence, it's something to feel. I mean, I have been always telling Siddhartha, I don't know when it comes to Haidakhan Baba, I don't know what to talk. It's something that it's from here. And energy, can you speak about it? Or love, can you describe love? It's something to be felt.
We were recently at the Kumbh mela, and I mean, we were luckily there for the whole 40 days. But the part that's relevant is that the camp that we kept going to the maximum and kept going back to was the Haidakhan camp. We didn't stay there. We were staying on the other side on Arayal Ghat, but we kept sort of making the journey there because there was so much presence in that camp, in the Arti.
Yeah, it felt like a ashram, mini Haidakhan ashram.
Yes.
And I would mention this one incident that had happened, that we were like, because our camp was pretty far away from their camp, and it's anybody who has been to Kumbh Mela knows that if traveling for 1 kilometer, it takes a lot, because everything would be barricaded and there would be no autos or vehicles running. So one day I really, really wanted to attend the Arati, and we were pretty late. Somehow we just took a lift from a bhaiya who would not charge us anything, and we were like, okay, please, we want to reach, and we were late, and Arati, we felt Arti has started and I've missed it, but by the time we reached, I was just entering, then they were just taking the Arti stick and the Arti was about to begin. It was a miracle, because it was beyond the Arti time and we felt we are late and we missed the Arti, but the willingness of both of us were like 100% willing to attend the Arati, and that was, I would say, Baba made it happen. And I cried the whole Arati. I was like, you really listen, if somebody is really seeking something from their heart, you really are there. He communicates. If you have opened yourself up to him, he'll even decide what you're going to eat, how long you should sleep, what you're going to wear. Talking about that, like every day we are supposed to wear saris during the Navratri, because if you are attending the Havan, or, it just makes the whole ambience a little vibrant, like when women wear sari and traditional attire. So yesterday I was wearing the Settimundu, which is like kind of sari, which is from Kerala, and and I was given this Paduka to carry. I just felt that Baba made it happen, that day I had to wear the Setamundu because that looks like sari, but it's easy to walk around. So when I was carrying the Paduka, I just felt,
The stairs.
yeah, it was the steps that I felt that, whoa, this is also Baba's grace that I had to wear I had to wear the Setamundu and not the sari yesterday, and that made the whole journey very easy.
Yeah.
In this lifetime, at the I think this is how it starts always. That when there was a point in my life when I felt I'm not connecting to anything, like be it my friends, be it the social circle I had, be it my work, everything came to a pause. And that was 2015 or 2016. And I was, I didn't know whether I was high or I was low. Because when you're too high or when you're too low, you behave probably the same way. You just don't know what's happening in your life. And suddenly, a guru that I would follow on social media, those days it was Facebook. And a friend of mine who I used to party with, he calls me and says that, hey, I have a ticket to an event. Would you like to attend? And I'm like, okay, it's about some spiritual. Yeah, it's about some spiritual talks. And there's this guru you follow on Facebook. He's coming to Calcutta. And I'm basically from Calcutta, born and brought up there. So, long story short, that I got the ticket, and because they were organizing the event, my friends, and so I got the ticket of the front row, and I didn't know actually who's the guru, who's coming. And suddenly when everybody is seated, and when the guru is about to arrive, and everybody stood up, and I was standing at the front row, guru arrived. I didn't know what does a guru mean. I would look at him like an old man with a beard. He arrived. He was passing by, and we are being taught that when you see a elderly person, you just bow down, touch their feet. I did that. He looked at me and smiled, and I think that was the start for my journey. After that day, not even a single day, my life was same as it was before 2016. I started waking up at 3:30, didn't know what to do. I didn't have any sadhana, I didn't have any chanting, anything. And so by then I knew the Guru's name is Sadguru Jaggi Vasudev. And I would wake up at 3:30 and I would just do this Nirvana Satakam. I learned it by heart before I decided to go for a program. And it was probably around 3 months that it took me to go for a first program with him, which happened in Bombay. And I was initiated in this Kriya called Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya. That's it. My life took a different tangent, and here I am. And now it feels that how, if you have surrendered to one guru 100%, you would be able to realize the real masters, like how it was very easy for me to realize who Haidakhan Baba is. So that is my start.
For me, from my early teens, so I grew up in a Christian family, so I used to ask my mom a lot of questions. Often didn't receive the answers that I was looking for. So I used to do a lot of reading, and somehow I found myself with this conditioning where I initially felt that I listen to anybody but not Indian gurus. So I listened to Alan Watts and Eckhart Tolle, and yes, I was trying to find my answers through them, and slowly, then one day led me to Osho. A friend told me about the Osho ashram in Pune. I was working in Bombay at that time, and even though he mentioned it, and I was willing to go, I just didn't gather the time to go until one day he was walking with a very pretty girl who looked at me right in the eye and said, you should come to the ashram. And so, as an early 20-year-old guy, I was like, this is the invite I needed. So I was there in the ashram within a few days. Being in the Osho ashram, participating in the dynamic meditation, participating in the Kundalini meditation, just listening to Osho, there's this art of listening as a meditation. It changed my fundamental fabric, I think. And I've never been the same after that. I've been actively seeking since then. And that journey is still on. From my early teens, I was quite ambitious. I would write down what I wanted and I would work clearly towards it. Even for example, becoming an accountant was because I read this book called Think and Grow Rich, as well as Rich Dad, Poor Dad, very early on, probably when I was 12 to 13 years old. And they said two things. They said, you have to learn accounting and you have to learn sales. That was the two advice given in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I went and did exactly that. I did an accounting degree, then went and worked in sales. And mostly whatever I worked for, I accomplished. The very concrete goals that I set in terms of money, in terms of experiences, traveling business class, living in a home like this. Somehow life was very kind. Before I was 30, all those things I had experienced. But this thirst that had come of there's something deeper and I want that has remained. And early 20s, especially as money came in, I tried to fulfill it in all the ways. I had a whole good rack of shoes. I tried to become a whiskey connoisseur. I tried to do a whole lot of things which people said would probably give me satisfaction. But I did not find what I was looking for. Where I have found it is in this path. Not that I found the destination, but the journey, every step, it feels like, some thirst within me is being quenched. And that feels incredibly satisfying. And I'm really grateful that, I've come across some living masters as well who have been there, who have created spaces. Amma, Mata Amritanandamayi in Kerala, finding her, being initiated by her in my early 20s. That's been a very grounding experience for me, and an ashram that I go back to. And, in the last 5 to 7 years, I also ended up going to the Isha ashram in Coimbatore. And that's where, through common friends, we met. So when we met, we both were independently walking the path, but this sort of felt like, a shared destination to walk towards.
Absolutely.
And that's why once we met, very quickly
we got married in 20 days of meeting.
Yeah.
Because it was so it happened with clarity.
Yeah.
The love definitely happens. It's an everyday thing, but there has to be some clarity where you want to walk towards.
Yeah.
So I saw that in Siddhartha, and it was easy for me. There was no other thoughts. Because for me, life happens inside out. Once you be, then you do, then you get what you want. So
the other thing which has been super supportive for me, it's now in our third year of marriage. And I mean, marrying someone who's walking the same path, that's been incredible. It's brought so much intensity, so much more focus and purpose.
And no nonsense.
Yeah. So in some ways, we tell each other that we're an ashram of two.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, that's all I have to say. If you've ever been curious of perhaps how Bharat was 1,000 years ago, this place, the Haidakhan Vishwa Mahadham in Nainital region of Himalayas, once we came here, we felt this is how an ashram probably was. It feels untouched, it feels raw, it feels so sacred, and no one has to tell you anything. Just walking here, you'll feel something. And it's organic. You go to the temple here, you sit there for the Arati, you go down to Raju's Chai Dukan, which is on the way to the Dhuni. You go sit in the Dhuni, you cross the river and go to the cave. There's really something here. I hope, if you're listening to this, you're able to experience this. Come to Haidakhan Dham.
Bhole Baba ki
Jai.
jai.